Party. Well, let's turn now to Ellie Costello, who's in Jeremy Hunt's constituency, and Jeremy Hunt has not been shy about setting out his stall to be leader of the Conservative Party for several weeks now. Of course, he came second to Boris Johnson last time around. Ellie, what do the people of, I believe, the Surrey constituency that Jeremy Hunt represents, what are the people there saying?
Well, good morning to you, Tom, and welcome to the beautiful town of Haslemere in southwest Surrey, which, as you say, is Jeremy Hunt's seat. He has held this seat since 2005, so very popular MP here. Everyone that we're speaking to this morning describes him as a good listener and a very good constituency MP. He does seem to be very popular here. He hasn't officially put himself forward as a candidate for Tory party leader yet, but the Independent newspaper has put him as favourite alongside Tom Tugendhat this morning. So will he make a good Tory party leader? Let's speak to someone who knows him very well. This is Craig McGowan, President of Haslemere Chamber of Commerce. Good morning to you, Craig. Hi. And thank you so much for joining us on GB News. So you know Mr Hunt very well. Does he have what it takes to be a good Tory party leader?
Yes, I do, bearing in mind what we've gone through the last few years and what I think we need for the next few years. As I say, somebody who's reasoned, measured, intelligent, and listens to people. He's got all those qualities, and I think if he does choose to stand, he stands a very good chance of winning, and he would be ideal for this country as a leader.
And we were speaking earlier, weren't we? You think in lots of ways we need somebody opposite to Boris Johnson, don't you? Those are the qualities that we're looking for now.
It is now. As I say, it's all been rush and sort of wham bam, as I said earlier. But I think something now a little more reasoned, a little more cultured, a little more thoughtful would be the perfect antidote.
And let's not forget how we got here, Craig. I mean, the reason that we had all of those resignations come in the last 3 days or so, over 50 ministers and aides resigning, was due to this culture that has built up in the Conservative Party. We've had a flurry of scandals. We had the Chris Pincher affair just last week. We've had Partygate as well. Somebody, well, next leader does have a lot of pressure on them, don't they, to turn this around and get the trust of the British people back in the Conservative Party.
They do, and the tone has to be set by the leader, whoever that might be, has to make sure he gets a good team around him that know what the heck is going on and able to advise him properly. And Jeremy Hunt, I think, has the ability to pick a good team to help him run the country.
So, Craig, I'm going to put you on the spot. Those final two, you've got your money on Jeremy Hunt. Who do you think it could be his running mate, if you will?
Well, I suspect the way things seem to be going, Tom Tugendhat seems to be a popular choice. So, if I was a betting man, I'd probably those two at the moment.
You're going to go with the same as the Independent newspaper this morning, which has put those two as the front runners. Well, Craig, fantastic to speak to you again. Thank you so much for joining us on GB News. Well, Tom, there you go. You heard from Craig there. He's a huge fan of Jeremy Hunt. He seems to think he'll be the front runner, but as you said, there's a long list of very capable, highly motivated people who could be the next Tory party leader, and we will find out in the next few weeks who those final two will be.
Really interesting stuff there, Ellie. Thanks so much for bringing it to us from down there in Surrey. Of course, Jeremy Hunt representing the sort of more left-wing tradition within the Tory party. Perhaps someone more on the right of the party is the businessman Nadeem Zwahi. He might have a better chance amongst the membership. Let's talk now to Will Hollis, who's in his Stratford constituency. Will, what's the mood of where you are?
Good morning. Yes, Stratford-upon-Avon today, of course, it's the hometown of William Shakespeare. Also, it's been the constituency of the MP and Chancellor Nadeem Zahawi. He's been in this position since 2010. He's clearly very popular, or at least the Conservatives are very popular in this area. It was about 60% of the votes that he got in the last 2019 election. Yeah, you said a very savvy businessman, created YouGov in, I think, the year 2000, those leading marketing analysts. Of course, he's somebody with a lot of qualifications. People around here seem to like him, I won't lie. A lot of people around here are tourists right now because of the obvious reason of William Shakespeare. He's obviously got a lot of credentials as well, vaccine minister, education minister. In the last week or so, he took up the position of the Chancellor. Obviously, a lot of people have been looking at how he moved in that position of Chancellor and sent that letter to Boris Johnson saying that he needed to act with integrity in only 48 hours after being in that position. Interestingly, he hasn't thrown his hat into the ring yet. Those big hitters like Jeremy Hunt, maybe like Liz Truss, we're still not hearing a hell of a lot from them. It's maybe some of the smaller people that not many people have heard of before that are coming out nice and quick. So I suppose those people, and certainly Nadhim Zahawi, are thinking Prime Minister to be or not to be, that is the question.
Well, Will Hollis, thank you so much for bringing us that there from Stratford-upon-Avon, of course, Nadhim Zahawi's constituency. Well, we're just going to take a second here to report some breaking news. The former Prime Minister of Japan, Shinzo Abe, has passed away, of course, after being shot at an event earlier today. He was Prime Minister of Japan for 8 years, the longest-serving Prime Minister of Japan in that country's history. We'll have more on this at the top of the hour, but just to repeat, Shinzo Abe, the former Prime Minister of Japan, has died after being shot while giving a speech. Really quite shocking story there from a country, Japan, that doesn't have a long history
let me just
or
see
a
what
history
I've
at
been
all of
sent.
political violence. Well, let's move on now to our final story today, which is to look at the broader political context of what has been going on in the most extraordinary few political days. I'm delighted to be joined by Barry Shearman, Labour MP, of course. And Barry, I suppose, first of all, this must be quite relaxing for the Labour Party, up in the polls this morning. I suppose the political tactic here from you and your party leader is to sit back and let the Tories scrap out amongst themselves.
No, I think it's the reverse. As I said in the House of Commons yesterday, this is a national emergency, and this has been brought, Boris Johnson and the Conservatives have brought us to this real crisis. We have a war in Europe. We have the worst economic downturn anyone can remember. We have roaring inflation. We have people children going to bed tonight with no food in their tummy, no heat in their homes. This is a national crisis. That's why yesterday I said, there could be an all-party effort here. No one takes any pleasure out of the absolute chaos at the top of our government at the moment. No pleasure at all. I don't rub my hands and say this is good for Labour. I say this chaos is bad for the country.
And yet the Labour Party is saying that the Prime Minister should be evicted immediately, something that would prevent a more orderly transition of power. Why is the Labour Party calling for a break with tradition, for doing this transition in a way that has never been done before in the history of the country, and perhaps even installing a temporary Prime Minister as a sort of stopgap before another one? Surely that's just a recipe for greater chaos than there need be.
No, I think what we're calling for is principle in British politics. The fact is no one any longer respects the judgment or the integrity of the Prime Minister. And to have, and I tweeted this morning, it's like Blackadder plot here, suddenly they've come up with a fiendish plot to keep Boris Johnson in number 10, to allow.
Oh, I think we've just lost Barry Shearman there. Oh well, we are at the end of the programme anyway, so we'll have to get Barry back at some point next week. Thank you anyway for sticking with us all the way through this programme, live from Downing Street, of course. Up next, it's To The Point with Bev and Mercy, but for now, here's your weather forecast.
Hello there, I'm Greg Dewhurst and welcome to Friday's forecast. Plenty of sunshine to come across the UK today. However, we could see some thicker cloud, patchy light rain across the far northwest. And the reason for this is a weak weather front sits across parts of Northern Ireland, southern Scotland, under this big area of high pressure. So most places will be dry and settled, but just a little bit more cloud for one or two of us. First thing Friday morning, the best of the sunshine across eastern and southern England. Thicker cloud across parts of Wales, the West Midlands, northwest England will disperse as the morning goes on. However, across Northern Ireland, southern Scotland, bit of a grey morning here, the risk of some light rain and drizzle. But this weather front just slowly pushes a little bit further south through the afternoon, allowing it to brighten up across Scotland. Temperatures across the board 20 to 25 Celsius, but in the southeast 28, possibly 29 degrees. So a warm evening to come across much of the UK. Plenty of sunshine ahead of dusk across England and Wales. Thicker cloud pushing from Northern Ireland into northwest England, North Wales. Perhaps the odd spot of drizzle, but many places dry during the early hours into Saturday morning. Just one or two showers across Scotland, but overall another mild night. Temperatures 13 to 15 Celsius to start Saturday morning, but plenty of dry weather, plenty of sunshine to get going. A bit more cloud across western areas, but this dispersing as the morning goes on. Blue skies for many as we move through the day. However, another weak weather front will move into parts of Northern Ireland, western Scotland, perhaps thick enough for a bit of drizzle, but elsewhere, lots of sunshine, high UV levels and high temperatures as well, 27 Celsius towards the southeast. And this continues over the next few days. Plenty of sunshine, lots of dry weather and temperatures rising further. We could see the high 20s by Sunday and even up to 30 or 31 as we head towards Monday.
We are GB News.
We're right across this great nation.
On TV.
On radio.
On digital. Absolutely everywhere.
We don't talk down to you.
We embrace all voices with honest and civilised conversation.
We are not part of the establishment.
We're one of you.
And we're only getting started.
Join us on GB News,
the People's Channel,
Britain's news channel. Hi there, it's Stephen and Anne.
At breakfast from 6 a.m, you'll always be caught up with everything you need to know, the latest headlines, opinions and debates.
We'll bring you the good news and the bad, but most of all, we're here for you.
Remember, send in your views and let us know what you would like us to talk about.
That's because we're your news channel. And every morning at 6 a.m, it's breakfast on GB News.
My name's Tom Harwood and join me 9:30 a.m. every weekday for The Briefing, your one-stop shop for everything you need to know about what's going on in politics today. I wonder if this is a deal that might need to be like the biscuits in this factory, twice baked. Is there not an opportunity here to win out against the extremes?
Tom Harwood, GB News.
What are you going to do about it?
Things should have been done differently, and they certainly are being done differently.
Don't miss it. The Briefing with me, Tom Harwood, 9:30